Hi everyone, my name is Robert with blindfoldedscience.com. We're going to be going over breathwork today. I'm going to be explaining to you all the science between each different type of breathing, whether you're holding your breath, whether you're breathing fast, whether you're breathing slow. We're going to go over all of it. You're going to get to know breathwork a lot better, so stick around and let's get to it. So the first question you might ask is, why do breathwork? What does breathwork actually do? Number one, breathwork is a vital tool in energy generation through ATP. Now, ATP is the energy currency that our body uses, whether it's for using and working out your muscles or all these different kinds of things. I also believe that ATP and some other research has found that ATP may be very closely linked to chi energy. I have another video up on that. Go check it out. It is called The Science of Chi. So doing breath work changes the user's physiology. It improves your red blood cell production as well as the size of your red blood cells. You create antioxidants battling the effects of aging. You alkalize the blood, removing acid from muscles and stress from the body. You help in water generation, some of which goes to the thyroid, which keeps it in balance. You improve your bone mineral density. You improve your tolerance to CO2. Hyperventilation breath work can bring about hallucinations by generating DMT. You improve the strength of your heart muscles, cardiovascular, and nervous systems. Intermittent hypoxia breath work improves oxygen efficiency, antioxidant production, and cell longevity. You improve your chi energy stores as well as widen your energy channels. Now how does all this work? Fast breath or hyperventilation loads up oxygen onto the red blood cells and they don't release as much into the muscles. The blood is alkalized, the chemistry of the frontal cortex changes, which can shut off the ego. You find brain coherence, you balance the autonomic nervous system. You start to also create oxidants and free radicals, which in our mitochondria, through cellular respiration, our cells are about 98% efficient at turning oxygen into ATP, and that remaining 2% residuals can do us harm. By holding your breath, though, through intermittent hypoxia, this does a small amount of stress to the system, ramping up the production of antioxidants to deal with those oxidants, which can lead to aging in the body, and those antioxidants combat that and you keep the system balanced. You got to do the breath retention as well as hyperventilation. They each do different effects, do different things. Through holding our breath, we strengthen the cardiovascular and nervous systems, we improve bone mineral density, we start creating up to 10 times more red blood cells. Now we already produce 2 million red blood cells every second. We can ramp that up 10 times. Pretty intense. Also, it seems like a form of adaptation that the body's red blood cells also increase in their size and their carrying capacity. And CO2 tolerance is increased, allowing us to improve the efficiency of our energy generation through oxygen. Now, slow breathing improves lung capacity and oxygen efficiency in the system. More oxygen is pushed into the muscles than before, as an increase in CO2 levels in the blood forces the red blood cells to release the oxygen. Opposite from when we did fast breathing and hyperventilation, when the drop of CO2 levels made our blood hold on to the oxygen. So to begin improving function in the body, a goal is recognized in Neikung practice as slow breathing. First step is 15 seconds in, 15 seconds out. You move to 30 seconds in, 30 seconds out. And it's said that a breakthrough happens at around 1 minute in and 1 minute out. And these are called turtle breathing. And what it does is, it's interesting. It goes into this whole oxygen paradox thing, where too much oxygen can oxidize the system, and like an apple rotting, it can rot the apple. Too much oxygen, we know, oxidation, it's oxidizing. It can age the thing. And then we have antioxidants, which do the opposite, which is anti-aging. So this whole oxygen paradox, too much is bad for you, but too little, you need it to survive. So it's kind of finding this right balance and incorporating these practices to hit both sides and make sure that we keep that balance and we're not just over-oxidizing the system without also generating the necessary antioxidants. So exercise in the system beyond the available oxygen in muscles begins ramping up ATP and energy generation and capabilities. When people do exercise and stuff, you're telling your body you're demanding more and more energy generation, and then when we go into this breath work, we start working with the system that creates the ATP, and we're trying to make it more efficient so that there's less waste, and we also improve function and stuff. With glucose and oxygen we take in from the environment, we create ATP molecules which link 3 negatively charged phosphates together, and they desperately want to separate. And when we use our ATP, our energy stores, that breaking of that bond can give us energy in various forms, whether it be electric, thermal, or kinetic, often in our muscles or any part of the body, because it is the energy currency of our body. ATP as stored energy can be released when we call upon it through breaking down these collected bonds, like releasing a compressed spring full of kinetic energy. This energy can be released in any form, such as electric, thermal, luminous, gravitational, electromagnetic, radio frequency, etc. So for how long do you do breath work? Now, it's reported that in different practices like Mopai or in Merpati Putti, you take about 3 months of specific daily breath work, slow dynamic movement, breath retention, muscle contraction, and meditation. And significant physical changes end up occurring in the practitioner's body, which allow for improved strength, energy projection, better brainwave control, and various other abilities that would be described as magic. I mean, such as telekinesis, for example. It's measured that after Chi practitioners perform their abilities, their levels of ATP significantly drop. So one example of breath work is just 6 reps of breath holds twice a day. And I go over proper training methods in my blindfolded sight courses on my website. Please check out my 5-day workshop where I've got 10 hours of training to help you unlock your true potential. Can you show me any breathwork examples? I mean, of course, we can start off. One of my favorite ones is Wim Hof. It uses that hyperventilation in the beginning, and then it also does the breath retention, which is strengthening the system and improving your longevity and improving your efficiency, as well as all the effects of the hyperventilation, which can alkalize the blood, which can change the chemistry in the frontal cortex, which can help shut off the ego, help you find balance and brain coherence. So with Wim Hof, you do 30 large inhales, and then you exhale completely, and you try to hold that for 1.5 minutes. And Wim Hof's whole method, he does this 5 times in the morning when he does a cold shower, and then he does it 5 times at night, and he does another cold shower. So his method also includes the cold showers. We're not going to do that. We're just going to show you what his method is, and if you want to join me, get a little bit of feeling in the breath work. So you take a breath in, 2, 3, 4. Now around 10 breaths, you may notice your body heat start to increase, a little bit of buzzing, that's okay. Just keep going. Your hands may be warming, your feet may be tingling. It's all right. Now at 30 breaths, we exhale completely. And we hold. And 1, 2, 3. Now you don't have to breathe from the hyperventilation. We've loaded our red blood cells up with oxygen. You have plenty of oxygen in your blood. You're alkalizing your blood, finding brain coherence. Just be peaceful, find the peace, and let it overtake you. As the slow amount of stress Tells your body to start ramping up red blood cell production. You're improving your overall efficiency in the system, creating antioxidants, removing stress. So a lot of stress is from acid in the muscles, and when we alkalize the blood, we can slowly remove that acid and find peace. Now when you need to, go ahead and inhale, and you hold, only about 10 to 15 seconds, and then you release. And that's one Wim Hof set. I find that the most interesting results start happening after, if you're a beginner, start happening after around 6 sets. So I know he says 5, but go for 6, maybe 7. See what happens. It gets pretty interesting. We're making all kinds of physiological changes, and we're doing a lot of interesting things to help our body improve its strength and efficiency and its resilience. Now, other interesting facts about breath work. So divers who did breath holds during their training ended up having 5% increased hemoglobin in their blood, which means that they had a higher oxygen carrying capacity. They also had higher and better performance and more efficiency in their system. Holding your breath also triggers the mammalian dye response, which then activates the vagus nerve and lights up a connection between your brain and your heart. So this is a great way to find a little bit of brain and heart coherence through breath work. I want to talk about what Wim Hof did. One of the reasons that this breath work is so profound, he went in and he got a lot of testing done. And it's not just this type of breathing, but he noticed the results, and he went in and he got tested. And there were about 16,400 people who volunteered before him to get injected with E. coli. And it was a study going on regarding to see if anyone had any, just natural resistances, if anyone was just able to resist E. coli. And everyone had failed before that. 16,400 people had all suffered the way that you'd expect when you get sick from E. coli, except for Wim Hof. He went in there, he did his breathing method, and he ended up beating the virus. He had very minimal symptoms. And after they even took some of his blood out, they put it in a petri dish, and they put the E. coli in there. His blood completely eradicated the E. coli on its own. One big thing with Wim Hof is he talks all about resilience to viruses. He says that he doesn't ever get sick anymore. He says he hasn't gotten sick in years. Another interesting thing, when we do a lot of, I think part of this may have to do with water and improving the balance of our thyroid. Some yogis and stuff it has to do with a lot of meditation. I've heard something about drinking poison or something, because they have a strong thyroid, they're able to better deal with poison. You could go ahead and check me on that. I'd love any comments, any feedback. Feel free to give me all the information. We're all here to learn. There's nothing wrong with anything. So join in the conversation, leave some comments. If you haven't subscribed, I've got a lot of great information. Let's change the world. This stuff is really amazing. Speaking of that, right here we're going to talk about chi and reality. What is chi? What is this inner energy that we have? I'm going to give you a description and a definition you may not have heard before, but I'm pretty sure that this is how it is. So chi is a fundamental building block of all matter, and it's the base structure of all elements. Chi is also the psychic realm and the Akashic records. It is not bound by space or time. This is why you can do telekinesis over Zoom. It's said that it is the 0-point energy field capable of providing us with unlimited energy, light, heat, and even transportation. the world will truly change once we learn to harness this field. I mean, teleportation through these fields is possible and done today. All points in space and time are one. This is why remote viewing is possible as well. Everything in the universe, everything is energy. Even at the smallest, most fundamental levels of energy, protons and electrons, they're really actually just dense fields of energy. So nothing is actually solid, it's all just energy. And then second, you also need to know that information is energy itself. Just information itself is energy. This is partly why Chi's the Akashic fields. Whenever anything is recorded, it's imprinted on this field and recorded, and anyone can, with proper remote viewing abilities, can look back at any point in time and see anything, anywhere, and see exactly what happened. There's another interesting thing. I've heard of someone who had like this static, they would listen to the static of a room and it would be able to play back what happened in the different time frames of that room. I don't know about that. That was something I heard from Stephen Greer. Interesting stuff. Another really important fact is that the world operates on love. And only by working together can things exist. This is the universal law. Act in love and you act in harmony with all. Anything else will slowly deteriorate until it's gone if you're not acting in love. So what do we take away from this? So do breath work for energy generation, health, longevity, balance, stress relief, and more. And also check out my 5-day workshop available on my website. I teach you all of this stuff, different movements. I teach you everything I've learned on how to see without your eyes, improve your intuition, improve your energy stores, learn energy generation and manipulation. And in order to get the best results, it takes about 3 months of training and energy storing to be able to really start excelling. But again, this is due mostly to the physiological changes that we need to make. Now, when you are younger, this takes less time. It takes less work to optimize your system for energy work. I don't know why. Young kids are just kind of already prepped and ready to go. They probably haven't been poisoning their system for a long time and making things more challenging than they should be. One important thing about breath work, don't do it while you're driving, or don't do it in water in case you pass out. Also, if you have any medical conditions or anything, like check your doctor before doing any intense breath work, because I'm not responsible for any silly things you may do. Like, subscribe, check out my channel. I will thank you so much for joining me today on Breathwork 101. I hope you learned something. I hope you're better informed on fast breathing and slow breathing and even breath retention and what those actually do and what some of the goals are, as well as how it's connected with building inner energy and where you need to go, what your even goals should be. Daily practice, 3 months, and then really you're going to start being able to start doing these things like telekinesis and energy projection. But you have to play with it, you have to mess with it, you have to make it a daily practice, improve your senses, and improve your energy stores, all this other stuff. Thanks so much, thanks again. I'll see you around.
And our goal is not in her.